Every car, his word. Let's find out which ones are winning the trash competition.
I have a 2000 Chevy Tahoe, right? Over 200,000 miles on it. And my brother was like, Josh, it's time to get a new car. Why don't you get like a Mercedes, like a new BMW or something? You got the money for it. I said, why would I do that? Like, I own this car outright, right? It doesn't give me any issues. It's durable. If I get in an accident, this thing is a tank. It ain't going nowhere. Plus, if something goes wrong on this car, bro, it ain't hard to fix. Like, if something goes wrong on a Mercedes, you're gonna pay like $2 to $5 grand, bro. If something goes wrong in my 2000 Chevy Tahoe, I just gotta pull the switch. Like the ABS, bro. It was running like nonstop. It wouldn't turn off. You know how I got to turn off? Me and my boy went in there and pulled the fuse. That was it. Pulled the fuse, bro, and wait till I could repair it. That's all we did. That's all you gotta do. You can go in this car and just pull things out. Fix things. You can go back in. It don't take too long, bro. It's all right here. It's a real car, you know? A Mercedes is like a spaceship, bro. You need like NASA engineers to go in there and repair that thing, bro. With this, you just need me and my buddy, man. And like a pack of beer.
200,000 miles. Pull a fuse. Fix. That's the whole argument.
Ask me all the time, why don't you recommend Nissan? Not that they're a bad car, it costs more to repair them.
Nissans are shit, but that is not the reason at all. They're far from being the worst car to work on. They're shit because their transmissions are fucking absolute dog shit. Their electrical systems, their trim, everything about a Nissan is absolute dog shit. I still remember a time when Nissan was nice. It was like 2004, 2005. I think they made their last acceptable car. And then they got bought out by Chrysler or General Motors or something. They just turned straight to shit. Fuck General Motors, fuck Chrysler. Every single car brand that they buy out turns to shit. Land Rover used to be nice, now it's shit. Jeep used to be great, Chevy used to be great. Every single brand that they bought out turned to absolute shit. I hope Chrysler and General Motors die and we just have Toyotas and Hondas left in the world.
2004. Last acceptable Nissan. That's not an opinion, that's a timestamp.
Every car made today is garbage, okay? But some are more garbage than others. You have your Chevy, you have your Ford, you have your Dodge, Jeep, Ram, whatever. They all have their problems, right? And if you buy these vehicles knowing their problems, most likely you know how to prevent them. In the case of Hyundai and Kia, they are fucking trash from the factory. And the funny thing is, they try and mask the fact that their cars are garbage by putting a nice interior with nice quality materials and all the infotainment system and screens. And you can put a costume on a pile of shit. It's still a pile of shit, right? And they also guarantee you a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Oh, the warranty. You need the fucking warranty. You need that fucking warranty because that engine's going to blow. She's going to blow. I'll tell you, Kias come in here all day. Kia Souls, Kia Optimas, all garbage. All garbage. The only Kia that's not a garbage is a V6. They have a decent V6. Any of their four bangers, fucking trash. Those engines eat oil. And when I say they eat oil, your mechanic probably doesn't tell you when they drain your oil, but 99% of the time, the 2.4 and the 2.0 are fucking out of oil when they come in for an oil change. And you know what their fix for that was with the modern day Hyundais and Kias? They have bigger oil pans to hold more oil. Instead of holding 4.6 quarts of oil, they now hold 6.5 quarts of oil for a 4-cylinder. That to me is deceiving and disgusting. Korean cars are fucking garbage. I will take a Ford, a fucking Dodge, a GM. I'll take a G. I hate GM. I'll take a GM any fucking day. I'll take a Chevy fucking Sonic over a fucking Korean Hyundai Kia piece of shit. That's how much I know that they are trash vehicles. They've always been trash vehicles. They've always been throwaway cars. Once an engine blows, the car ain't worth shit. And if you go to any Kia or Hyundai dealer out back, they have tons and tons of fucking engines and crates stacked that need to be replaced or just blown up and destroyed. Keep buying your Korean junk. You're making me money.
Nice seat, blown engine. That's Hyundai's business model.
Please, never ever buy a Nissan Rogue. This is probably the worst car ever, and I really regret getting. Actually, this is my third one, but for sure the last one too. A piece of garbage.
Right after warranty. Never before. Never during. Always after.
Now I understand why the United States don't want us to see anything that's going on in China. So I guess we're not supposed to talk about the fact that Chinese cars are 100% better than American cars. Chinese cars are way more advanced and they're cheaper. America is supposed to be #1 in tech. But we don't see this. Chinese cars are built better. Have you seen some of these Chinese cars? Matter of fact, look at this shit. Tell me what American car you've seen with features like this. Look at this shit.
Comes with its own infotainment.
Come on,
and
man.
when I press this button,
Look at this shit.
that's a privacy screen. When you look right there, that lifts up. China is not playing around.
At all. Over here, this would be $1 million.
And all of this costs less than $100,000.
Come, that's not
In
it.
this Chinese SUV,
This is cheaper than
once
that.
you remove the headrest, you can fold the seats completely flat.
Come
That
on.
way you can really stretch out and recline while you
Come
enjoy a
on.
nice movie. Or you can place a mattress that goes on top
A
of the
mattress.
seats for when you want to spend quality time with the waifu
What the?
and
Come
start
on.
that family.
You got Elon over here acting like he the electric car guru. The electric cars in China batteries last forever. And you get all of this for the low. Their prices are way cheaper than America's prices. Why is this? Now you gotta ask yourself, how much longer are we supporting this? How much longer are we gonna support United States automakers? Compared to Chinese cars, they are selling us garbage. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're working on something different that we don't know about. I'm out.
Car parks itself against your will in a parking lot. Progress.
You know, I really wanted to love this bastard. It's a 19. It's got 22,000 miles. It's the upgraded version. It's already had a new transmission, new steering rack, new battery, new trunk hinges, new sunroof, and then I start it today. What the hell else is wrong? Garbage car. Garbage car. Welcome, Brandon, to your garbage car.
22,000 miles. Already rebuilt half the car. Garbage car is the correct diagnosis.
Explain to you how Toyota built better cars 20 years ago than they do now. Because look at this Majesta. It's over 20 years old. The beautiful dash. It's got an infotainment system. Wood grain steering wheel. The vents swing, guys. They swing. You've got ride height control. It's got airbag suspension, sunshades automatic, sport modes, power modes, heated seats in this thing, and it's 20 years old. Are you kidding me, guys? And you know what the craziest thing is? Does your car have a plasma cluster? I didn't think so. Toyota knew what they were doing 20 years ago.
New cars suck. Glass headlights, plastic headlights. Flimsy plastic, stiff. Fake vent number 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a single fake vent on the Celica. What even is this button? I can't believe this is actually your parking brake. And this is what you use to shift the car? Real e-brake and a manual transmission. No screens either, and it's very driver focused. Andrew, what's your favorite thing about your car? The fact that it'll gap yours. You know what? You do have me there. All of this plastic is disgusting. You can actually see my turbo. It is very cool to see how far Toyota has come in 30 years. It's also great that you can still see 30-year-old Toyotas on the road today. Will that happen with a BMW made Toyota though? I don't know. It's also awesome that Toyota is continuing to make awesome sports cars even in a time when we have super strict regulations and no one wants a manual anymore. Which styling do you like more, new Toyota or old Toyota? All jokes aside, both of these cars are awesome in their own way, but I do have to admit, BMW does know how to make a good car. Follow for more car content.
Ouch.
Here's why I think cars that were built 20 years ago are better than modern day cars. From what we see and our experience, we see that nowadays there's way more plastic on cars than obviously metal. Plastic obviously is to reduce weight, easier to manufacture obviously when it comes to putting cars together and stuff like that. The downside of that, easy to break, easy to get damaged. A lot of plastic, cheaper labor and stuff like that. Number 2, the metals they're using nowadays in cars is also cheaper than what they was using 20 years ago. So that is also a big issue. Cheaper metals equals breaking quickly, damages quickly, and stuff like that. So in my opinion, I think cars that were built 20 years ago are much more solid. That's why they last longer. That's why they're not in the scrapyard. They may need repairs like that one over there, but they won't end up in the scrapyard. That's why I think cars that are built 20 years ago and before that are better than modern day cars.
Investors took over. Engineers stopped building for you. That's when it changed.
5 reasons why I believe older cars are better cars. Reason number 1. 30 years ago, car companies were not as focused about producing the cheapest possible car and maximizing the most amount of profit. They were more concerned about building a good relationship with customers and selling them a product that they knew would last a very long time so that their customers were happy. This is no longer the case. Market shareholders and investors have taken over these car companies and are dictating the decisions. So now engineers are no longer designing a part to last as long and reliably as possible. They're designing it to be the cheapest part they can possibly find while still working properly for the longest period of time. It's no longer, let's design this door handle so that it will never fail. It is, how can we find the cheapest possible product to make this door handle out of that will save us money while we can still charge the consumer the same amount of money they would have been anyways if we had gone with something better quality. Reason number 2. Car companies are more worried about the efficiency of a vehicle, which includes the weight of the vehicle. The lighter a vehicle can be, the more efficient it will be, and the better gas mileage it will get. So they're looking at literally every part on a car. They're saying, can we save a couple of grams here? Can we save a pound here? Can we make this part slightly thinner to save weight there? And this has been going on for multiple decades at this point. It's gotten to a point where a lot of components on cars are so thin, made of plastic, that they're only designed to last up to 100,000 miles. Just take, for example, sheet metal on the outside of a car, say your fenders or your door panels. On new cars, you can just barely press them with your hand and they'll pop. You can feel them start to give. It didn't used to be like that 30 years ago. People actually cared about how well built the car was. Now it is, how thin can we make that sheet metal to save weight and money? Reason number 3. Plastic composites took over everything automotive. I look at things like the door handle, for example, on a vehicle. I have a 1988 Chevy pickup truck. The door handle is full metal, like the whole casing of the handle itself, all the internal components, they're metal. Then you take a brand new like Chevy High Country that's 80 grand and all the door handles are like super lightweight hollow plastic. It's like if I'm having a work truck that I'm beating on every day and is being used for contract work, landscape, you name it, and yanking on that handle 1,000 times over, I don't know, man. And everything is held together by glue now, including internal components on the inside of a vehicle. So it's like you want to replace just a piece of your handle assembly. Nope, you got to replace the whole shebang. You got to rip it all out and put a whole new thing in there. Reason number 4. The EPA has killed the modern ICE engine. Because you look at like modern diesel engines and all the regulations they have put on them with emissions, with DEF and all that stuff, it's just killing those diesel engines. Then you take modern V8 engines in trucks and they're putting all these electronic regulators on the engine to only run 4 cylinders at a time, and that's killing those engines. Direct injection on all the small little engines, causing carbon buildup issues. Reliability in a nutshell for an ICE engine is low compression, no forced induction, port injection. These are the engines that will go 300,000 miles. You start putting forced induction in there, direct injection, you're just causing more and more stress on that little engine, and it's not gonna last that long. But why would the car company care? You're just gonna go get another vehicle because the standard is now being set so low, the consumer knows no better. They say, well, I guess it's broken. I got 150,000 miles out of this car. Time to get a new one. Reason number 5. Computer modules on everything. If there is one thing that gets outdated very quickly, it's computer technology. But these car companies continue to put computers on literally everything in a car. So if you want a car to get obsolete very quickly, load it up with computers throughout the entire vehicle. A car from the 70s or 80s can still be relevant today if it is restored and in mint condition. People find that desirable, right? They're like, this car is a classic. It will always be attractive to me. But you take a new car and you look down the road 50 years and you think, will this car really be a classic? All these computers and this technology will no longer be relevant to anybody. So why would anybody care to keep this car? It's not something that will be desired or valuable. It will simply be obsolete.
glued together. Can't replace one part. That's not engineering, that's a trap.
I genuinely don't care. I have said for the last 10 plus years that I think Ferraris are basically garbage. I've had every one of them and I still think they're shit. They keep getting worse by the minute, like worse and worse and worse and worse. The 812 GTS, complete crap. All the parts didn't line up, just quality craftsmanship junk. When I look at every car after the F12, it's been a disaster after disaster after disaster. The F8, the F8 Spider, complete crap, even worse crap.
Owned every Ferrari, still calls them garbage. Most expensive opinion on the internet.
All of the best cars have already been made. This is a really interesting statement that came up last night in our podcast that we were doing with our buddy Nick Calaroso. He was gracious enough to come on with me and Wooly. He's an awesome guy, cool as shit, knows a lot within the industry. He was a good dude. And he brought up that really simple, but I thought enlightened point. All of the best cars have already been made. You know, me and Wooly have this problem of constantly looking forward and seeing who's making what's happening, because we want what's best for the automotive industry and the automotive aftermarket industry at all times. We want everybody to always be making cool shit, because that's what should be happening. And what we were talking about, the topic that popped up was, you know, if this whole EV thing really, really goes forward and it really happens the way that it's looking like it might, you know, it can kind of go either way right now. Anyway, but if it does, what happens moving forward? And me and Wooly always kind of have like a bad outlook on that, saying, well, it's chaos, it's mayhem, and the automotive aftermarket industry is going to absolutely crash. He looks at it completely differently. He kind of looks at it like an old school hot rodder does, and basically just says, look, man, if that stuff gets popular, then sweet. That means that the 80s and 90s and early 2000s cool shit that we love so much that a lot of people are going to see as shit boxes, prices on that stuff is probably going to plummet. At least at some point, we can go scoop it up and start having fun again, you know, because there's a ton of parts out there and they're going to keep making parts for it the same way they still do with the old American muscle car stuff. But it's true. I mean, cars were just so, when I say best, I mean they were more enjoyable, they were more visceral, more real. You know, nowadays cars are just numb and heavy and ugly and complicated. And I mean, yes, we've conquered fast. Yes, the cars now are a lot faster than they were before, especially the freaking EVs. There's no doubting that thing. The things are fast. But we've kind of lost the point. We lost the fun somewhere in there in the chase for speed, because there's so much more to it than just going fast, just point and click. The car wrestling you, the car fighting you back, feeling the RPMs, feeling when the shift needs to happen, launching the car, you know, releasing the clutch the right way. There's just so much to it that makes it so awesome. Like, there is just something freaking awesome about driving a slow car fast that I absolutely cannot explain to somebody who's never done it before. There's no way I can possibly put it into words. I can make it sound all pretty and everything, and they will never get it unless you take them, put their ass in a cool, slow, but fun car and hope they can drive stick shift well enough to actually do it. Anyway, I thought it was a really interesting topic that we were talking about, and I 100% agree with it. Nick, you're right. All the best cars have already been made, and I hope the prices drop soon so I can go freaking shopping.
Old cars, pull a fuse, fix. New cars, pull your wallet. Good luck. Drop a comment. What's the oldest car you'd trust over anything new? And subscribe. We're just getting started.